of you to this conclave. As we know, today, youth have a wide array of careers to choose from, but are confused as to what stream to choose of study under graduation. So, we at IndiGlobal Career Conclave have organized this to help students and parents to make a decision by interacting with reputed universities and institutions at this fair. What is entailed in today's conclave and fair is power packed panel discussions, dedicated presentations, exclusive networking, brand augmentation, and finally, we have the rewards and recognition. And now, I would like to call upon the founding member, Mr. Sudhir Gautam, CEO and Editor in Chief, Indie Global Media Network, for a welcome address.
Very warm welcome, everyone. We'll kick off with this career conclave and fair, and we have our esteemed guests who have joined us. And I would request Prerna to start off this inaugural session with the lighting of the lamp.
I would like to call upon our esteemed guest for the event today, our special guest, Shri Ajay Mishra, IAS retired, former Special Chief Secretary, Telangana Education and Energy, to please come on to the dais. I would further like to call upon Shri Shrikant Sinha, CEO, Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge. I would further like to call upon Professor K. Nageshwar, ex-MLC, academician and political analyst. Further, I would like to call upon Shri Kartikeya A., OSD, to Minister of Finance and Skill, Government of Andhra Pradesh. And finally, I would like to call upon Vedant Aluwalia, Managing Director, DataViv Technologies. Can I hear a huge round of applause for our esteemed speakers here? We would like to start this glorious event with a lighting of the lamp. I would request all the guests to please move ahead. Also, Dr. B. Kalyan Chakravarti, IAS Principal Secretary, Skill Employment, Entrepreneurship and Labour, Welfare Department, Government of Assam, will be joining us virtually. Thank you, everybody. Now, beginning with the inaugural session, this inaugural session, we will be talking about careers today, challenges and opportunities for students in deciding a career, emerging courses, streams and new technologies, the age of multidisciplinary courses, education and skill ecosystem, vis-a-vis changing economy. And now, I would like to call upon Dr. B. Kalyan Chakravarti, IAS Principal Secretary, Skill Employment, Entrepreneurship and Labour Welfare Department, Government of Assam, for an address. He would be joining us virtually.
One of my gurus, Ajay Mishra sir, in there. Good morning, sir. I see Kartikeyan also of the CEO task. Sudhir, thank you for connecting me back to Hyderabad. And, the topics are very many, like, you talked about challenges and opportunities, emerging courses, what is the meaning of multidisciplinarity, education and skills. So I would probably try to sum up everything in about 5 minutes time. And I will just start by saying that, the students who are watching us, they would probably looking at what kind of education, what kind of skills they need to do in order to get employed. And as we are aware that while agriculture as a part of the GDP is declining and industry in our entire economy is rather constant at about 20%, it's a services sector which is actually taking India forward. And though we do talk about Make in India, essentially the Make in India, where we have a challenge with countries like China or Philippines, show that we should be focused more. Perhaps this is my perception that we should be focused more on services sector, services around agriculture and industry, and also the fact that there is a tremendous amount of urbanization that is happening, and India is rapidly urbanizing. Are the sectors in which the skilling needs to look up to and look forward to. We had a great kind of a skill conference. Assam has established something called the Skill University, and while industry is very important, the gestation period, the kind of labor codes that are there, make industry as a long-term investment and skilling, and therefore employment, more difficult sector in our country compared to the sectors of services. And in the services sector, of course, I would like I see the future is there in the field of health, which is an ever expanding field. There is a huge amount of employment in the various sectors of health. There's a huge employment potential in the field of education and in the field of infrastructure and environment. And of course, people skills. Now, in all these, whether it's health or education or infrastructure, environment, one of the common threads to all these 4 or 5 extremely important sectors which the country is progressing in would be digital skills and people skills. So these are also the sectors I'm sure the CEO task will talk about where there's a great amount of scope for employment in the future. As I was Principal Secretary Education, of course, now I look after culture, education, and cooperation too. I find that while we have a huge demographic dividend, a huge amount of youth which are coming out of colleges in the last 2 months regarding employability, and I see that most of the people who are getting hired are either with 10 to 15 years of experience as opposed to the fresh graduates. And perhaps the reason perhaps for this is that what the colleges are teaching and what really is required. It's not that we don't have employment, but the skills that are required to really hit the ground running are not there. And therefore, every government in the country is looking at how to really vocationalize education. And we see that vocational education, introduction of IT, right from class 8 upwards, is under the NEP and also is now a policy across all the state governments. And we're talking about short-term skills in the ITIs, in the polytechnics, in the colleges, and inclusion of skilling as a necessary component of education is now, I think, being institutionalized. To some extent, there is progress made in every state, but I would request that all the students and will try and look at the skilling ecosystem. When I was Principal Secretary Education, I did not have much idea as to skilling, but the purpose of education without an employment or without an opportunity for entrepreneurship is really purposeless. And therefore, the skill ecosystem being an integral part of education is very, very important. And today, if you look at urbanization, for example, in Hyderabad, you'll come across real estate offers a great scope. Or if you come to Assam, you'll find oil and the mining sector has a great scope. The insurance sector is really expanding. The banking sector is expanding. With urbanization, you'll need transport and auto sector, which is expanding. And pharmacy is an essential component of the health. These are the sectors that we have identified, but every state will, of course, have to come up with their own skill gap analysis. And every state will have certain strengths and weaknesses. But the great thing is that while world population ages and declines, India has an average age of about 26 to 27 years. Assam, in fact, has almost 22 years, about 4 years younger than the rest of the country. Our strength is the youth. And the world is looking to Indian youth to really fuel their supply chains, to fuel their markets, fuel their production lines, and therefore skilling in order to meet the world needs, besides the needs of the ever-expanding markets of India, is a great scope. But bridging the gap between what is happening in the world of technology and what we really have right now as an output of education is the key thing. Definitely like to join back sometime to hear all of the esteemed speakers give their views about how to take it forward. I did not go into the specifics because of the lack of time, but I do wish this conference all the best and all the success. And I hope that we are able to answer the questions of the children, the kids who are looking up to us in terms of getting employed. Thank you, Sudhi. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Ajay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us and giving out the outline. And we recently did a huge two-day conference under the program chairmanship of Dr. Kalyan Chakravarti. All the 7 northeastern states and other states in the country have been part of, and it was a huge, huge success that we hosted in IIT Guwahati. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Over to you.
Further moving ahead, I would like to call upon for our next address, Shri Shrikant Sinha, CEO, Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge. He is presently the CEO of a leading non-profit organization, champion of the cause of collaborative CSR. Leader in Tech for Good space, aims to bridge digital divide and promote grassroots innovations and advocate for inclusive India with 30 plus years of consistent multicultural global experience. I would like to call upon Shrikant Sinha, sir.
Thank you very much. A very good morning. Who's Bhisham Pitama? A lot of people consider him to be guru, and I am one of them. Of course, I was not fortunate enough to interact with him that much because I joined in quite late into the government sector over here in Telangana, but a lot of people talk about him and the kind of initiatives he had taken. Sir, honored to be present in front of you and speaking in front of you and being on the same dais with you. Of course, Sri Kartikeya, OSD Minister, Finance and Skill, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Vedant, all faculty members, all the HODs, students, my colleagues from Task, and dear ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, a pleasure for me to be present amongst all of you here today. And out of the various topics that were there, I said, if I start talking about everything, I think probably I myself will take 1 hour. So let me not do that. So I thought, let me talk about one of the topics out of that, which is emerging courses, streams, and new technologies. And especially when people talk about emerging, in the same breath, they talk about cloud, they talk about artificial intelligence, they talk about everything. So I said, if we need to talk about emerging, what do you mean by emerging? And what should be considered as emerging, right? Genomics today is also very, very important, but is it emerging or is it mature? And that is the question that we need to ask ourselves, and that's where I said, let me start. So if we look at the characteristics of emerging technologies, I will probably put it into 5 buckets. The first is novelty. It has to be something which is new, yet to be widely accepted and adopted. It has to be something which is novel, which is something which is supposed to be disruptive, right? When we talk about disruptions, I think that's the second characteristics. Any emerging technology should be able to disrupt the industry, disrupt the things we are doing, the way we are doing the things. It should be able to disrupt that also. Uncertainty is very, very important. We don't know, right? For example, when we started talking about blockchain, metaverse, etc., people were not sure what could be the potential of it. Whenever we talk about distributed ledger technologies, whenever we talk about any technology that has come up now, people are not sure what will be the final result. So it's like when Thomas Alva Edison was asked, what is the use of this telephone? At that time, no one knew that we would be actually carrying a telephone in our pockets and doing it, but the potential is huge. So at the beginning, when the technology comes into play, we are not sure what could be the future for it. Of course, technology has to be rapidly changing. ChatGPT came up, ChatGPT 1.0, then suddenly we saw 4.0 had already come up. 175 million data sets were fed into ChatGPT 4.0, and that's why it was so accurate, and still improvements are happening on that. So rapid change is a thing that has to happen. It has to evolve rapidly. There are new developments, and a lot of innovations have to happen in it. Then, of course, most important, Kalyanji also alluded to it in his thing, which is multidisciplinary. For example, when you talk about, it has to have multiple disciplines coming in together: engineering, science, and biology, right? So that is what is happening today. Computer science, engineering, biology comes in as one thing. Solar technologies, AI, and mechanics comes in as electronic vehicles. So a lot of such things are coming in different directions. So now what do we do when we are not sure what is the potential of it? And the funny part is that people who will be entering college this year, by the time they pass out after 4 years, 60% of the jobs that they have, that are existing today will not even exist at that time. So how do you prepare people for it? So we looked at what could be the streams moving ahead. And I looked at it from the perspective of both industry as well as an individual. The first stream that I had found which was very, very important moving ahead, is a combination of robotics and AI put in together. Today, if you look at it, most of the manufacturing sector that is there today in the country, this is an integral part of it. Even if you go to the HCCB plant, the Hindustan Coca-Cola, in fact, we visited it, some days ago, entire thing is controlled. The manufacturing process is completely controlled by robots, right? And if you add AI into that robots, you can have different things coming up, which is now called as IIoT, Industrial Internet of Things, right? So robotics, AI coming in together, predictive models coming in together, a lot of such scope happening over there. Automatically, you have reconfigurable industries. What does that mean? Today, an industry is producing these plastic water bottles. But tomorrow, plastic goes out of circulation completely, and I think it should. They need to start producing glass water bottles. They don't need to change anything. Automatically, the factory will reconfigure itself to produce glass bottles. Imagine that's the kind of future which will happen. AI, ML, and along with that, RPA, robotic process automation. So again, but this is more toward chatbot, the work that is being done. So mundane jobs will completely move out, and you will have chatbots, etc., doing that work. Microelectronics, photonics, and nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is not emerging. It has already been there. But unfortunately, since India missed the bus earlier on because we were not multidisciplinary, therefore, it has created a challenge for our youth, our researchers also, to move in that direction. So that is one area where things will change. You'll have a lot of things going smaller and smaller. We are already seeing that. Moving to the next thing with the 5G coming in. And I think one thing we also need to realize when we talk about these emerging trends and courses to be done and everything else, we need to understand that while IR 3.0 was only based on a single technology, which was internet, IR 4.0 and now 5.0 is based on a lot of technologies coming in together. So 10 technologies coming in together for 4.0 and 5.0, human behavior and human interface also coming into it. Cobots, working together with robots, etc., is what is coming in. But the base, if you look at it, is the communications. Today, everyone is connected on a mobile device or any smart device. What is the base for it? It is telecommunications. It's 5G networks which are being coming up and 6G. So telecommunications and communications is another emerging area where a lot of things will change. Today we are talking about geostationary satellites, right? That we will be soon talking about lower orbit satellites. And that's where the whole thing changes completely. You could have an internet only for, let's say, this, for Somajigoda, which will be at a complete different bandwidth, complete different kind of thing. Similarly, for industries, for factories, for universities, you could have your own internet working on high speeds. So it's a new, complete new thing which is coming up over there. And there are a lot of use cases. Materials. We need to have new materials coming up. I think today, a lot of people are entering the IT industry which are into service jobs. But what is important is people is to do research, do things, identify and find new materials, because all of we are aware that today, EVs, the batteries, right? The minute they reach 140, 150 degrees, they blast. So how do you ensure? How do you get new materials? How do you remove the aluminum casing for the pack, etc.? How do you do that? What kind of materials can be used? Right? So a lot of new material research, etc., is another area which will emerge and we need to do into it. Bioinformatics, biomedical engineering, and genomics, again, is another area which is moving in a very, very big way. Today, in fact, I was reading the paper and I saw that some people have used the aloe vera leaf to charge and create enough current as your watch or a small device. Things are going to move into clean energy, renewable energy, green energy, where a lot of bioinformatics also will come in. A lot of engineering principles also come in. Solar, etc. is of course there. All these renewable things are there. But a lot of new areas are emerging over there. And that's the next trend which will keep on growing. Moving ahead, one thing which will continue, but unfortunately, the way things are happening, it'll be a problem for not only this country, but the world itself. You are not having enough civil engineers. You are not having enough mechanical engineers. Core engineering subjects are being neglected. I think that's one area where we have to once again come up. We have to ensure, today you might write a brilliant code, right, for a robot to work. But if you don't have a mechanical engineer to design that robot, then what will happen? Imagine, you need buildings to stay in, you need buildings to work in, you need a conference room like this. Civil engineers are not there, then what will happen? Today, if I take the example of Telangana itself, from last year, I'll take 102,000 seats are there for engineering in Telangana. 62,000 seats got occupied last year. 94% of that was only IT, comp science, electronics and electrical. 6% were all the remaining core. I think we need to focus back on some of the core areas again, along with other things. So civil engineers should be also, now when we talk about cloud, civil engineer knows there are smart meters already. So he has to be aware about artificial intelligence. He or she has to be aware about cloud technologies. He should be aware about robotics. There has to be predictive models when the power fluctuations will happen, when the generator will fail, when the water supply will have a problem. All these things have to be there. So civil engineering in its new avatar has to continue and grow. Aerospace, of course, we are proud that a new startup from Telangana itself, Skyroot, was the first to launch a private rocket. And the best part was that it is incubated in T-Hub, and the prototype was developed in T-Works. Right? T-Works is T-Hub, if we talk about, in Telangana, it's the world's best and largest innovation ecosystem. 378,000 square feet under one single roof. When we talk about T-Hub, 78,000 square feet of pure space, which will help you prototyping anything. So you have an idea, go over there and prototype it. So that's the kind of facilities which will keep on happening and people will move toward that side. Cybersecurity. Right? If you look at the Fortune 500, and I was shocked to hear the statistics, 95% of them have been attacked by some cyber hacker or something else. And my immediate question was, what about the remaining 5%? They must have done something right that they didn't get attacked. The answer that came to me from the cyber expert was no, they are still unaware that they also have been attacked. So that's the fact. So cyber security is another area. It will grow and it will continue to be a space. One thing which is going to change a lot of things is the advent of, and it started as a gaming technology, but now moving ahead, AR, VR, and mixed reality, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, along with the animation, visual effects, gaming, comics, industry itself, will be another option. In fact, if any one of you know people, there is an organization which is about to set up in Hyderabad, which requires 1,500 people who have got 5 to 10 years experience in production, post-production, VFX, etc. Imagine, while people are being laid off in other industries, here is one industry which has got high demand and keeps on growing. Because today the use cases for the entire visual effects and everything else has changed completely. So I think these were some of the things, of course, blockchain and distributed ledger technologies, etc. These are the courses for the future. And when we talk about trends, I think the trends that, if I do crystal ball gazing, of course, Bill Gates said 64 KB should be enough for everyone. He made a prediction. I'm also doing some crystal ball gazing and making some prediction. And my money, if I have to bet on these technologies, photonics, optical computing, right? Telangana already has got PVC, Photonics Valley Corporation, and work is happening in that field. Quantum computing and quantum communications. A lot of devices are being created, a lot of telecommunication things. Quantum cryptography will also come up soon. But yes, quantum is the next thing. If we talk about Web 3.0, and probably I'll talk about it slightly later, the next thing is Internet of Behaviors, right? With so many devices happening near you, all the devices being there, all the data that is being generated has to be analyzed by someone. So Internet of Behaviors, your purchasing behavior, your breathing behavior, your temperature behaviors, everything is being looked at. So Internet of Behaviors is a new area where a lot of research and a lot of new technologies will be put in together. So IOB is the new thing. New emerging solutions in renewable energies. I think that's very, very important. Today, if you look at it, if we have to meet the 2030 goals of SDGs, clean, green, sustainable is most important, right? And India is one of the 135 countries that's a signatory to it. So that's another area which will grow. Manufacturing technology itself, we are talking about, it was deductive manufacturing earlier. You used to, have a block of metal and then you used to carve it out and reduce it to create a thing. Now it is additive manufacturing. You are putting dots or sheets combined together, and that's how you are creating things. So additive manufacturing is already there. 3D printing is there. New developments will keep on happening in this, because today you can even have a building created, a house created, an office created, and it's happening today. It's no longer science fiction. You have 3D printers for even printing buildings. So that's where things are moving. Of course, extended reality, which is a combination of augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, and commonly it's known as extended reality. I think that's one area where a lot of research is going to happen, a lot of people will be required for that industry. Cognitive and generative AI, I don't need to talk about it. I think ChatGPT has already invaded everything. And forget ChatGPT, I'm always, of course, ChatGPT is much more advanced. If I look at a simple thing like Siri, I still remember one of my friends whom I visited in Bangalore, his son wanted to got a homework on Tenali Rama. And what it did was very simple. Siri, tell me about Tenali Rama, and Siri started narrating everything and he started preparing his assignment. So when Siri could do that, imagine what ChatGPT could do. But it will change a lot of things, so that's where we need to do it. Now coming to Web 3.0 technologies. I think Web 3.0 technologies are already here. Blockchain, distributed ledger, trust infrastructure, a lot of things are being spoken about. But there was also one thing that got spoken about, which is metaverse, right? And recently, I don't know how many of you have heard, metaverse concept has been challenged by Apple itself by something called as spatial computing, right? And my question as I end my session now is, would you like to purchase something virtually in a virtual world, right, with the help of technology and pay Bitcoins for purchasing it? Or would you rather purchase something in the virtual world which is designed for you in the real world, which you can utilize, right? And that is what spatial computing is going to do. And it doesn't only have use of things like what I spoke about, but for logistics, for industries, for everything it has got uses. And that's where spatial computing Apple has just announced it recently, and that could be one of the major disruptors moving ahead. On that note, leaving you with this thought about spatial computing, and I hope I've been able to cover and give you some crystal ball gazing as to what could be the future trends. Thank you very much for a patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful session, throwing upon light on the emerging trends of Internet of Behavior, robotics, renewable energy, manufacturing, chat GTP, Web 3.0 technologies, giving us some insights on metaverse. So it all in all has been a wonderful session, sharing your real-time scenarios, use cases. Thanks for throwing all the light on whatever was required here. Thank you so much, sir. Further moving ahead, for the next address, I would like to call upon Sri Kartikeya A, OSD, to Minister of Finance and Skill Government of Andhra Pradesh. Sri Kartikeya is highly accomplished public policy professional working in the development sector with a keen interest in the area of SDGs, stepping forward with robust experience of 18 plus years of experience in executing high-value projects that focus on upliftment of the most vulnerable and marginalized section of the society, with a creditable academic track record, including a master's in public policy from ISB, Hyderabad, and executive program management from Cornell University. Sir has worked with various ministries, state governments, and multilateral agencies, and has been driving schemes and programs for sustainable development, education, and women empowerment, livelihood creation, gender equality, poverty elimination, health, and skill development. We would be hearing to Sri Kartikeya right now. Thank you.
Very good morning to all. And I would like to thank Mr. Sudhir Gautam for inviting me to address on AI and new emerging technologies and all this. And before that, sir, it's my honor sitting beside you and sharing stage with you, sir. You are role model for many of officers from Telangana and India. And as Kalyan sir said, Kalyan sir actually, B. Kalyan Chakravarti, Principal Secretary, is my mentor and is my brother who supported me for the last 8-9 years. Thank you, Kalyan sir. And thanks once again, Mr. Sudhir. And I wish you all the best for IndiGlobal to organize this kind of events in future and start doing it and empower our youth of India and Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and everywhere. So actually, when it comes to when Mr. Srikanth Sinha's CEO task is the opening batsman of this session, he did not give any opportunity to play others. So it is difficult to play a next batsman who comes now because he already played his role completely. So it is for us nothing to say much, but still whatever we're doing from Andhra and Telangana and in terms of emerging technologies, I'll talk about it. Before that, I have to ask a question to all the youngsters, your students. Can we live without electricity? Anyone is there who can say yes? So same way as the professor from Stanford, who's a creator of deep learning, he said once, AI is a new electricity. So the way we can't live without electricity, without AI and deep learning, it is difficult. Maybe we are not seeing today, maybe coming next 5 to 6 years, we are going to see a tremendous changes, and the future is on AI and chat GPT and what on. Keep on, Google is coming up with new technologies. So we need to understand how we can use this technology with a traditional education. How we can add value to your whatever you're learning. Most of the people are from BCom computers, BA and arts background, commerce background. How we can use this technology. That's most important. Are we using it, technology in a right way? So as Mr. Srikanth Sinha said, AI, deep learning, cyber security, renewable energy, we are using it. Everywhere we have blockchain. So we should know how to use this. For that, what we are doing in Andhra government, at present I'm working with the Andhra government. So we, in our skill development also, we are trying to get AI and deep learning and virtual reality labs in every district. So in fact, we are working with Mr. Vedant. Vedant is from Stanford University, who has trained by the creator of deep learning, what's Andrew Ng. So I met him in one summit. I like the way he spoke about VR and augmented reality and all this. So immediately we started working with him, and very soon we are going to come up a dedicated center of excellence in Andhra Pradesh, where all the students can use this opportunity to understand it. In fact, when we talk about it, AI and all this, if you know more about it, how we can use it, the technology, for example, VR. In fact, recently when I don't have experience much on VR and all this, when I met him, he showed me with the handset, how we can learn. The students can learn more, if you want to know. Earlier, we used to go to the planetarium and all this to know about how space and all looks. But now we have an opportunity with the VR virtual reality. Even virtual reality, even use sports, games we can play. The same way, this technology, when you're talking about emerging technologies and all, it should go to the grassroots level. People, everyone, in fact, doctors, the students should use it. It's not that only engineering students can use this. But even from 10th standard, people should be used this technology where they can become creators. As once Mr. Peter Drucker, a management consultant, said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. If you want to create it, you should before predicting, start predicting and create that technology or whatever you want to do it. So same way, when we're talking about skill cascading in our state of Andhra Pradesh, we are getting in every MLA constituencies, we are using these labs, virtual reality labs, where skill development children also can start using this AI and deep learning and all technologies. Apart from the students, we want to give this experience. As we venture into the future, the rapid advancement technology continues to revolutionize various aspects of our lives. Emerging technologies have the potential to reshape industries with economics, societies, and profound ways. This note explores the role of these technologies shaping the future of highlights of some of the key technologies areas. Like as he said earlier, AI, how it is helping us. Blockchain technologies, Internet of Things, 5G, how we can use 5G technology. Earlier we had 3G and 4G, now we have 5G. How fast it is, how swift, in terms of transforming the data. So we should know and try to get this, whatever education you have, try to add value with this emerging technologies to your core education. That will give enough value added and you can get desired outcomes for it. So with this, I would like to tell all the students and everyone, make use of this ChatGPT also there. People are saying that once you get ChatGPT, people, even AI and technology, they lose jobs. I don't agree with this. The more you get technology, the more you get opportunities. So, but for that, you should be ready to grab those opportunities. Don't go into that, no panic in that, okay, once technology comes, ChatGPT has come, then there won't be a jobs for people. The more technology comes, the more jobs are created. And try to grab those opportunities to take with the added technology added to your profile, and also become entrepreneurs. Don't look for opportunities. Don't look for a job. Be an entrepreneur. Create employment opportunities for many people. So future is entrepreneurship, not looking for a job. So be entrepreneur and try to create more and more opportunities by using these emerging technologies. With this, I just want to end, and I would like to thank once again Sudhir. Thank you, sir. Because Shrikant Sinha is doing a lot of work in terms of task. The same way we want to share and learn more from state also, from tasks, to get into more into our state. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kartikeya, for your meaningful insights on opportunities for all students available at Andhra Pradesh in artificial intelligence and deep learning. I'm sure many of you all would have received required guidance to progress in your career. Thank you so much for your insights. Also, I would like to welcome Professor K. Nageshwar, ex-MLC academician and political analyst, onto the stage. He will be joining us. A very warm welcome, sir. Moving ahead, I would like to call upon Mr. Vedant Aluwalia, Managing Director, DataViv Technologies, for the next address. Mr. Vedant is the CEO of DataViv Technologies, working across a wide range of technology stack in AI, AR, VR, mobile, web, and more scalable technologies. Mr. Vedant is having vast experience with several large successful enterprises, including unicorn startups, and establishing large companies across a variety of sectors. Mr. Vedant has done his MS in Artificial Intelligence at Stanford University and is also having vast knowledge in artificial intelligence, deep learning, and other focused areas. I would like to call upon Mr. Vedant to please address the gathering. Thank you. And a few applauses for our speakers here.
First of all, I'd like to thank Sudhirji and thank our panel of speakers over here. Everyone very accomplished and doing great work. And if we have such leaders in our states and country, we can really transform India in a large way, like we all imagine being a leader. So my talk here will build off a lot on what Sinhaji has said and what Kartikeji had mentioned on how technologies are changing. Before that, I'll just shed a little light on my background. I've done my master's from Stanford University, and right now, Stanford University is the creator of all major technologies that have come for the world. So the self-driving car, first models were invented there. ChatGPT technology, deep learning, again was invented there. So a lot of inventions and innovations have come from there in the past. Google, Cisco, Yahoo, all invented in the lab with professors and students working together. So I had the opportunity to work there during my master's and part of the AI lab in research under Dr. Andrew Ng that Kartikeji mentioned. Also taught with Andrew Ng his course in AI and also taught on Coursera, which is Andrew Ng's startup, one of the few billionaire professors the world has seen. So where does Stanford get this magic? Where does it create this innovation? And how has it established an entire Silicon Valley around its university that used to be a farmland? Well, it comes to one small point, which is actually the point of the future. It's the ability to solve problems. Technology is just a medium to solve a problem. And in the broader encompass, once we look at the future, which is very different from where we are now, is an era where everything is going to change. Nothing is going to be the same. And as AI, the new electricity, is going to power a lot of these transformations in every industry, be it agriculture, climate, all our major solutions are going to come with AI and a lot of these emerging technologies. So where the new students, the new generation, and everyone needs to poise and plan themselves is to be ready for this transformation or to create this transformation. And essentially, in this mix of a lot of new terms coming in, like, metaverse, Web3, all this, there's a mix of new things being said, which are current technologies, future technologies. Well, there's nanotech, there's quantum technology, photonics. There's so much to get lost in and not be able to proceed further, where, that confusion kind of dwells in the mind of students, where they're not able to reach and accomplish their careers and start looking at more current sort of solutions, which are the software services and building these technologies. So coming to that point of a future, our future will have automation, and automation at a very deep level. But that does not mean that our talent will not have jobs. It doesn't mean that we will be jobless sitting at home just watching robots work or AI work or something like that. We will be working in tandem with this technology. And the reason we'll be working in tandem is to make the lives better and make the outcomes of our industries, outcomes of our healthcare, outcomes of different service sector, every sector that we work in better. AI as a technology is poised to bring down cost of anything we do. Because with a one-time investment, we're able to generate quality output very easily. And the second benefit is able to improve productivity, which in turn is revenue. So for anyone not incorporating AI, it starts becoming an inhibitor for their growth. They're not able to achieve growth. And because of that, a lot of industries, everything is going to change. So for us as students that are looking to be part of the future, that are looking to be part of this new future and create a lot of it, we should focus on building problem-solving skills. And problem-solving skills among technologies, whatever we learn. Starting off with AI, Why is AI having so much popularity? Why is it grown in popularity very recently? It's specifically because the computer brain was created very recently, deep learning from Stanford by Andrew Ng, and that brain is the technology that is powering the self-driving car, powering ChatGPT, the cameras that can recognize you, facial recognition, all that is being done by that. That is the reason AI has actually picked up to this level. Prior to this, there was no holistic brain for the computer, but this has a potential of reaching general intelligence and building a lot of different models together that can give us that level of sophistication we've been dreaming of from technology. So where we are headed is an era where our dreams and reality are going to start blending in. What we had only imagined, that you could speak and the lights would go dim, you could think of something and that would happen. All that is becoming a reality. The days when you saw Star Wars and thought, oh, this is not possible, I cannot have a touch screen, I cannot have this. That is all becoming a possibility. And the new future is going to be even further. Google scientists have recently claimed in 7 years we would be achieving immortality with nanobots and artificial intelligence. Doesn't that sound like a dream? But that is coming true because of the application of technologies. And where I see our future youth and the upcoming generation, our focus should be in being creators of these technologies. In the future, we have a choice. Either we buy the technology and use technology from other people that have been made, or we make our own. And to make our own, we need to bridge this knowledge gap that exists in a lot of our education and a lot of what we learn, because what we are learning is what exists. We look online, copy codes, run codes, learn how to run codes, but we're not able to create path-breaking technologies that change the world. Look at Google, look at Cisco, that really redefine, create a new sector. For that, we need to bridge knowledge gaps and create intuition where we can really think with the AI and plan new transformation for industries, for sectors with AI so we can create. And that is the sort of transformation that I see in the next 2-3 years in our education curriculums, in everything we do, where we will be becoming the creators. And just coming more focused on the point of what sectors to choose, what areas to study in, and what areas should we avoid. So the idea is that all curriculums are going to blend and change. They're all going to incorporate AI, as Sinhaji mentioned. And that incorporation of AI is what is going to make every technology more and more relevant. Since every sector has to change, and there are new versions coming up, you will be relevant in any sector you work in if you have the technical knowledge. And how sectors are blending in now to create new and new sort of degrees. Like if you look at in Haryana now, a medtech degree has been recently announced, where they'll be learning 3 years medical and 2 years technology to build talent that can operate the robotics for the medical sector. So that is becoming a new skill set requirement, and that is the new degree being created where you're blending two very important fields of technology and medical. So in that manner, you will see technology becoming an enabler for so many sectors that your knowledge as a foundational person in artificial intelligence and a lot of these technologies will really position you to be part of this growth and be part of this transformation. Historically, India or the world has not had a better time than right now to be part of a global level transformation with so many industries changing, so many new jobs being created. Everything, including the wealthy and the rich people of right now, are going to change in the next 5 years, in the next 7 years, because such innovation is coming that you cannot even imagine. One ChatGPT launched, within a couple of months, its valuation reached $10 billion. There's no startup that has had its first valuation at $10 billion. But this was possible with AI, the first realization of AI. So imagine if we start building technologies like that, building technologies further than that, where our technologies are used globally, we as a nation could really move forward and be a creator and provider of Googles, Yahoos, and a lot of different technologies. But that requires this mindset shift, which comes to problem solving. And what is problem solving? Problem solving is about looking at a problem and not saying it's not possible, I can't do it. That is probably the last thing a student should say in his pursuit of learning. The solution should be that I can do it, how do I do it, and make sure you do it. And that is how a lot of these solutions, technologies have been created. If the Cisco founders gave up that HTTP was not working, we would not have the internet. If Google gave up, we would be relying on Yahoo. So the idea here is to keep creating, keep getting better, and be innovators. Create new ways to solve problems and focus on your growth as a person, building skill sets across all these disciplines, not one, but many. The more you are able to, as an individual, contribute to the growth of a company, the more your value as an individual rises to the company, to the country, to everyone. And to contribute, you need to have holistic knowledge. You cannot have one field knowledge and be like, I only write Python code, or let's say, I only write C++ code. You have to have holistic knowledge to create the complete solution, or at least guide people to create complete solutions. And this is something that now, 5 years, 10 years experienced people are doing. But what students of the future or students of top universities should be able to do is actually do this from the day they graduate. So on that note, I would like to end, and I hope this was insightful, delivering some value. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vedant, for helping us understand how AI is emerging and is creating a promising new future, the importance of application technology, the importance of creating path-breaking technologies, new transformation for sectors, and also how important it is to have holistic knowledge and not restrictive and limited knowledge. Hope it was very helpful for students here so that you can know what you'll have to do right now. Okay, moving ahead, I would now like to call upon our esteemed speaker for the event today, Professor K. Nageshwar, ex-MLC academician and political analyst. So, Sir has also served as member of Andhra Pradesh Legislative Council and also subsequently in Telangana Legislative Council as well. So, Sir, I would like to invite you to address the gathering.
Friends, I'm not here as a former legislator. So I'm a journalist by training, teacher by profession, and I was a legislator by accident. For no fault of my own, I entered legislature. So let me here speak more like a student of knowledge, student of learning. So the first thing, as Vedant has pointed out, there should be a thinking shift in every student, because I have been handling students of various disciplines, various professions. I taught journalists, I taught IAS probationers, I taught a very wide range of people. What I understand from my experience for the last couple of decades is the inability of a student to appreciate the potential in you. So we talk about a lot of obstacles, impediments, but we don't believe that emancipatory potential is within us. So that kind of I'm sure some of you might have seen this controversial Adipurush film. So I'm not getting into the film, but the story of Hanuma says, he doesn't know the inherent strength in him. So we have to unravel the strength among ourselves. We quite often talk, well, I can't speak English, I'm from a rural background, I'm from a semi-urban background, but let me tell you, all that is nonsense. I have come from one of the most backward districts of United Andhra Pradesh, Adilabad district, studied all through in government schools, studied Telugu medium till 6th class, but I have written in almost every English daily in the country. So nothing prevented me from emancipating myself from the constraints of society, family, life. So that is the first thing every child has to inculcate, and every mentor has to inculcate in unbelievable potential in us. And we are living in a world of opportunities. When I joined journalism, there was hardly one TV channel, there is only 1 or 2 newspapers. Today you have unbelievable opportunities waiting for you. So do not get influenced by the traditional boundaries of knowledge. Unfortunately, we live in an education system which is heavily compartmentalized, heavily regimentalized. Because knowledge is interdependent, knowledge is multidisciplinary. As Vedant was pointing out about medical technology. We never heard that IIT will start a medical college, or we never heard that a medical course will have a technology component in it. We never heard that the biology interacts with information sciences to create bioinformatics. So come out of these traditional boundaries of knowledge. I am a student of electronics, did my post-graduation in journalism, doctorate in political science, and I taught economics at Birla Institute of Technology and Sciences without any formal degree in economics. So my experience tells us you can seamlessly move from one branch of knowledge to the other branch of knowledge, provided you have an appetite for learning. So nothing can be impossible today. At the age of 59, I can do a law course, I can do even a medicine course also. So that is the approach and that is the mind shift that has to take place. So you need to be multidisciplinary. I'm sure every student will have interest in more than one subject. But we are, because of the economy, because of the family, peer pressure, we are compelled to enter into one thing. Next thing is never give up. As Vedant was also pointing out, never give up. I have not listened to other speakers. I can't really draw example from them. So he was giving you the example of never give up. So because sometimes you may fail, second time you may fail, third time you may be successful. Today, digital technologies, as every other speaker was pointing out, technology provides an immense potential to reach out to unbelievable areas, unbelievable territories. So it is something which you can't even imagine, something which you can't even estimate. So today, that is the world. The digital, the internet, we never imagined how the world looks like before the advent of internet. I still remember writing in 1996, September, when internet was first introduced in India as a computer superhighway internet. I never imagined that things will be something like this. So the pace with which the technology impacts society is mind-boggling. It's unbelievable. I started my own YouTube channel 4-5 years back. I never imagined that I will reach 1 crore people every month, 1 crore views. So this is the potential with every student has to imbibe in it. So you need to develop a new economy is emerging called the passion economy. Your passion becomes a business opportunity now. You may be good at cooking, you may be good at decoration, you may be good at singing, you may be good at many things. But unfortunately, the world has not given us an opportunity to convert our passion into a business opportunity. Now, we are living in a world where your passion can be an opportunity. So try to identify the passion in you and develop it, convert it into a business opportunity, what we call as a passion economy. Creative economy is expanding. I have a student who did his engineering from BITS, Pilani, and subsequently did his MS. I met him after 5 years recently. I asked him, what are you doing? Sir, I am a short filmmaker now. So I asked him, why did you do computer science and all that engineering? Well, I did it for my parents' sake, sir. Now I am interested in what I want to do. I earned a lot of money in first 3-4 years. Now I have given up the job for a break for 1 or 2 years. So I want to pursue what I love the most. So you will have a very happy life. When you do something, when your passion and profession converges, then you will enjoy the life very much. You will not only be successful, you will have a meaningful life. So identify the passion in you, identify the creative component in you, and unravel that creative component and convert it into a business opportunity. Then have a convergence with society. Today, economy offers us opportunities to have a reasonable convergence between what your aspirations and the aspirations of society. We are hearing about circular economy. We are hearing about many other social entrepreneurship. We have a social stock exchange that is coming up. So what the world today provides you an occasion where you try to find a reasonable convergence between what you want to become, what you aspire to become, and the larger societal requirements. Technology alone doesn't help. Business skills do not alone help. Selling liquor is a business skill. Selling a water purifier is also business skill. But if you effectively sell water purifiers, that will provide a protection for humanity against the waterborne diseases. But if you sell liquor very well and you maximize your business, you will be damaging the liver and pancreas of many people. So it is not the business acumen alone that is more important, but the relationship and the impact that it has on the society is more important. Inventing a low-cost car and inventing a low-cost laptop, technologically both may be marvelous, but low-cost cars will flood the roads with cars, will create more pollution, will consume more foreign exchange, will create carbon footprint, will increase the carbon footprint. But a low-cost laptop will revolutionize the world of teaching and learning. So my request to the young minds is try to identify mere technological competence, mere managerial skills, mere business acumen do not matter. You have to ensure how my talent will impact society. My talent should impact in a positive manner. That's what the entire debate on artificial intelligence today taking place. Why are people who have led the technological change, people who have actually created the technology are today talking about its deleterious impact on society. Why are people talking about? And finally, we have to transform our education institutions. I went to US in 2013. I went to an MIT students lab. I was surprised to see students producing mini robots. But in our country, I have visited several engineering colleges. Our engineering college project reports are produced in Amirpet. Amirpet is the biggest center for engineering project reports. So should we continue with this kind of a system? I have seen a dean of engineering is biodata on the board, is a mechanical engineering doing research on malaria. What is the relationship between a mechanical engineer and malaria? That is how the world is converging. So prepare for this unbelievably changing world and aspire today, sky is the limit, and sky and beyond sky, perhaps the deep space is also is not a limit for you. So wish you all the best. Thanking you.
I would like everyone to give a huge round of applause to our speaker here. Sir, being our guest speaker for the conclave today, thank you, sir, for helping us understand the potential of technology and the impact it has in our life. And not so that, but also talking about how passion plus profession or mix could unravel your true self. This truly speaks about the human side and the technology side together. Thank you for such lovely insights. Moving ahead, I would like to call upon our Ms. Shubhashri Natarajan, who would be giving us a presentation on changing dynamic of education, how to select a program that would cater to future job opportunities. Professor Shubhashri Natarajan is the Dean of Dean School of Business, RV University. She has 28 years of industry academia experience. She leads teams to shape the vision and direction of business schools for international accreditation, financial sustainability, building robust systems, and enhancing university reputation. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Namaskaram. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank you for bringing all the best minds in one place. And many congratulations for doing that. I was listening to the former speakers. Dr. Kalyan Chakravarti was talking about how industry and agriculture should be driven by service-oriented industry. He was also talking about digital skills that are required. He has set the ground for the entire discussion. Followed by that was Sri Shrikanta Senha, who was talking about the emerging technologies which could be pocketed under different classifications. He, in his talk, was talking about how industries reconfigure themselves in no time and how prepared the students need to be. The role of IT again came into picture, and more of cyber security was also there. Sri Kartikeya sir was talking about multidisciplinary, do any degree, but then augment it with IT skills. Mr. Vedanta was talking about problem solving. Again, integrate the curriculum with IT multi-skill sets are required, holistic knowledge is required. Entrepreneurial skills are something that he spoke about. Professor who spoke about before me was talking about do not compartmentalize any of the discipline, go for multidisciplinary. He was talking about the passion economy. A lot of inputs. I'm going to talk from the parent's perspective and then move on towards the perspective of a professor. I want you to think how your parents chose a school or a college. When I did it for my daughter, I went in to the schools to check out how the infrastructure is, who the teachers are, what the curriculum is all about. And then I decided, look, there are 3 important things that my child needs. 1, he should be able to communicate what she thinks. She should be very strong in her thoughts. We still do that when our kids go to the universities. We want the thought leaders. Any university, if it is capable of producing thought leaders, that university is a successful university. Any disruption that happens, a good thought leader should be able to think about the community, should be able to apply the knowledge that he or she has got, and the degree that he has got is a useful degree. That's the first thing. Second thing, we also think about, okay, when I chose a school for my daughter, I said the innate creativity of a child should not be corrupt. Every child has got its own creativity, and we should give that space for the child to innovate, think creatively, look at the problems, solve those problems. At a university level, again, today many universities are offering virtual spaces for people to collaborate, to think about the societal problems, industry problems, and then solve that. Choose those universities which are doing that for you. The third and the very important thing is the mathematical or logical reasoning power. When we chose the school as parents, we thought maths is something very important. Today, IT skills is very important. How logically my child thinks, my student thinks is important from a professor's perspective. Only then a real problem can be identified and it can be solved. A student will not jump into any of the symptoms. With these 3 as the core, if there is a university or if there are universities which can offer you multidisciplinary programs, please opt for it. You may be a medico. If you can specialize in IT, please go ahead, choose that. If you're an agriculturalist, if there is an opportunity for you to do a course on technology, opt for it. If you are a business person and would like to know what is fintech, IoT all about, please look into those universities which will help you to nurture these skills. Gone are the days, as Professor said, compartmentalizing a particular discipline is done with. At the same time, you should not lose your passion, your own innate skills. I always tell my daughter, study something that will help you to enjoy the world. Do something that will take you to greater places. You don't have to study hard, earn hard, and live a very miserable life. Do whatever that helps you to enjoy the entire world at a larger perspective. With that note, I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity. It's an honor to be here with all the professors, all the learned people here, all the change makers. Thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am, for your lovely insights. Moving ahead, I would like to call our esteemed guest for this conclave, Shri Ajay Mishra, IAS, retired formal Special Chief Secretary, Telangana, for Education and Energy. Sir had managed transport, rural water supply, IT, infrastructure, and investment in higher education department in Andhra Pradesh as Commissioner, Secretary, Principal, and Secretary to the government. During this period, Telangana emerged as the leading state in the country for initiatives in the solar energy sector. Sir has also been active in various non-government organizations in Hyderabad, working for arts and culture promotions and also cancer awareness. I would like to call upon Sir for an address. Thank you. A huge round of applause for the address, please.
Thank you for the introduction. I don't know how far it covers my activities, but then I'll start with thanking Sudhir Gautam for giving me an opportunity, because it's always educative and informative for me when I come to these sessions, especially if you hear, say, a speech or of like Professor Nageshwarji, whom I have not met once, but it was a delight to hear him. Sri Srikanji, very informative discourse for me. We have Vedant, say, if I can say, brilliant minds trying to work for the society. And also, like Professor Nageshwar said, different roles. Education many a times is thrust on the kids by the parents. My experience of my kids with me. Speaking at the last is a difficult exercise, because most of it has already been spoken, what you come prepared with to speak to the audience. It's like a T20 match where the last 2 overs are left and you have to do something new. I'll introduce myself as one of the things how the career options change or the activities change. See, I'll more call it activity. 40 years back, I was pursuing academics in nuclear disarmament, the political side of it. Chance, success, I come to administration. I am there for 36 years. Then I start writing poetry. 3 years back, about 40 published in newspapers in last 2 years. A political science student, I gained some expertise in the government in the renewable energy space. I start advising people. But then today I'm working for charity organization, social service by name Red Cross, associated with, as mentioned, cancer awareness sector, also art promotion. When I see the kids today, don't mind my language, kids, I mean from 15 to 30 years, because my kids are 30 years now. I get corrected many a times. Daddy, you have just repeated the same thing 5 minutes back. Why are you telling us again? My daughter tells me. So I make it a point not to repeat what my predecessors have told in their speeches. The present generation, I feel envy many a times, because the kind of information, the kind of knowledge, the kind of exposure which you have at 20 years, I didn't have, very frankly, though I was one of the successful kid at my point of time, but the kind of exposure which you have. On the other side, I also feel concerned. There is so much of information, there is so much of uncertainty. Where do you take yourself? There are 2 traditional options, as they say. One is for the bread, one is for the butter. The parents generally force the kids to go for the bread option, where you can make a living decently in the traditional mold. But most of the kids today, because of the information, because of the knowledge, because of the passion in many of them, interest in many of them, want to go for the butter option. But there is more uncertainty. There are very few openings at the correct stage. How do you have integration or a working relationship within yourself of these 2? That's a challenge for many of you. More so, you have to keep abreast of what changes are coming in your chosen field and are likely to come in the coming years, and how you adapt to it and how you master it in a short time. It's not easy, because first 20 years you have not been trained for that. It's not your fault. Few institutions today are paying attention to different levels. but 99% of the institutions are not paying attention. So, but then, the period of uncertainty can be very enlightening, can be very productive if the opportunity is made use of. This is repetition of what has been said earlier. But then sometimes repetition is required. New fields have been mentioned by the speakers. I will tell about the field in which I take interest. Renewable energy. Next 10 years, as per studies, more than 1 lakh jobs are likely to come in renewable energy sector. Today in the country, there is no graduation or no post-graduation exclusive program for renewable energy recognized by the government. Many students are doing research, PhDs are being done. But if you talk of post-graduation, rare, and it will only grow. In renewable energy sector, I am not trying to confine to only solar or wind, which are two known areas. But then hydrogen, green hydrogen is coming, the potential for it. These are things which interest, but then how do you combine your bread and butter? Like mentioned by our dean from RV University. We find bright technology students after 10 years doing organic farming, a few of them here, and making a living out of it. See, that is important, making a living out of it. So your interest, your passion has to be sustained during the difficult years. See, that is important. The kid would have had interest in organic farming or farming, but he was forced to go for engineering. He spent few years after that. When he has grown above the dictates of his parents, he finds his passion and happiness. One other thing which has been not paid that much attention is about the skills we talk, about acquisition of knowledge we talk. That is required up to a point. But what about values? Values doesn't mean only honesty, commitment, integrity. That has taken a back seat. As I say, today degrees are not for knowledge, not for information, but for getting some marks. That degree will only help up to a point. Today the best jobs are, some of them go to people without degree. All of you are aware of it. I'll not tell the details, repeat the details. Have you got some skills while you are pursuing your degree? That is important. The liberal arts. I advise youngsters, if you are able to write in any language 1 page with your hand without autocorrect, that is a skill today, which was a norm, a common thing 4 decades back. Today, content writing is a career. We never heard of it 4 decades back. And it's not new thing, see, by way of technology. The fields mentioned by Shrikant ji are new. But content writing is what we all did when we appeared for different exams 4 decades back. So fields are being reinvented also in a different format. So I would like to reiterate values for life. How do you face tough times? How do you not succumb when you succeed to different temptations? These are 2 specific things which I'd like to mention to the youngsters. One of the points mentioned was, can we live without electricity? The answer was absolutely correct, but I will advise the youngsters, try to live without electricity at least for a short time. You can think more, think differently, analyze things when you are not constantly interrupted by technology. Information overflow, try to have some discipline in you so that you don't be wasting your time in the information overflow sector. Last few years, I am lucky I go to places where internet and phones don't work. I stay there for 3-4 days. Going alone will require much discipline of meditation, introspection, etc. I don't do that. I go with a few friends that stay place in remote area, not remote area very far off in the Himalayas, maybe 600-700 kilometers from here. The only communication with outside world is a landline phone, which is used only when we have to go out to bring a taxi or a vehicle. But then with your friends with whom you can spend 2-3 days, it's a form of, like youngsters say, chill out. Chill out not in the way we are accustomed, the way it is being forced on the youngsters in the pubs and restaurants, but where you energize your mind, your thinking process for future. Please try it. It is difficult because at your age, I also did not take holidays. I'm being very honest. So youngsters today feel a holiday is loss at work. The institutions, the employees also have to change what is called work-life balance. Some companies are doing it to some extent, different to different levels. I will summarize in the difference, difficulty between bread and butter, how you keep your butter passion alive in the struggle during the first few years. That is important. How you continue to nurture and stand by values in your workplace and society, that will matter. And finally, some amount of chilling, introspection, different life for very short periods in the days to come will definitely enhance your overall growth. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for helping us understand how important it is to be abreast of the dynamic world and how uncertainty leads to innovation. Thank you so much for such wonderful address. Also, I would like to mention that our university partner is RV University. A request if the video can be played, please.
The vision of RV University is to be a world-class, tech-driven global university for liberal education. RV University strives for excellence in teaching, research, capacity building, and community engagement. It offers 45 programs across its 6 schools dealing with liberal arts, design, economics, business, computer science engineering, and law. We have outstanding faculty members who believe in innovative pedagogy, experiential learning, and inculcating new age skills. They are part of a RV University's vibrant academic environment. Our collaborations with top universities in the world, industry, think tanks, open or create a range of learning opportunities for our students.
I am truly delighted to be a part of RV University, as it is a great place for a young student like me.
Here at RV University, there is an equal emphasis given to extracurricular activity, sports, self-development skills, and soft skills. RV University has 23 student clubs and societies, which are an outlet to our own creativity. They also appeal to the interest of every single student at RV University. So through these clubs, I have strengthened and developed many such skills which I can utilize in my career as well.
Thank you. Moving ahead, I would now like to call forward Mr. Sudhir Gautam, CEO and Editor-in-Chief, IndiGlobal Media, to give away the floral bouquets to our esteemed speakers. I would like to call forward our special guest for this conclave, Shri Ajay Mishra, retired IAS and former Special Secretary, Telangana Education and Energy. upon Shri Shrikant Sinha, CEO, Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge. Further, I would like to call upon Professor K. Nageshwar, ex-MLC academician and political analyst. Further, I would like to call upon Shri Kartikeya, AOSD to Minister of Finance and Skill Government of Andhra Pradesh. And finally, would like to call upon Vedant Aluwalia, Managing Director, DataViv Technologies. I would like all the speakers and our esteemed guests to please move forward for a group picture. Can we hear a huge round of applause for all our esteemed speakers here on the stage, please?